If you want to add to your crypto positions, I would be ready. There might be some events happening in the next week that could cause you to be able to add a lot to your bag. I also want to talk about what I'm doing and some big news that's coming possibly here soon from the SEC, really cracking down on more specific cryptos. Definitely hit subscribe underneath the video. Turn on the bell notification so you know right when I post a video. I've heard from some people that they're not getting notifications as much recently. Part of that might be because I've been posting so much because there's been a lot happening in the market. But turn on that bell notification so you know as much as possible when I post a video because some of it is time sensitive. There's also a link down there to the Patreon in case you want to get updates before, or actually right when the market opens and then right when it closes usually. And then also I tell you when I buy and sell. You can check that out underneath the video. There's also a link down there to Margex in case you want to long or short crypto right now. There have been some people that made a ton of money from that. So definitely check that out underneath the video. As you can see, Bitcoin has fallen down 3.5% in the last 24 hours. The whole market's down nearly 5%, almost under $1 trillion. There are some cryptos that are still doing extremely well, like Polygon, which is up 5% in the last 7 days and 70% year to date. It's one of the only cryptos in the top 10. Well, it's the only crypto in the top 10 that's up over the last 7 days. So there's still some that are outperforming, but overall the market's down here today. And I think that's due to a couple different reasons. First of all, the overall stock market is down because the US December CPI was revised up by 0.2%. It was actually revised to 0.1% up for the month compared to negative 0.1%. And this is due to the government recalculating seasonal adjusted factors. So they revised it up. They also revised the core CPI by 0.1%. So that was up as well. And this is coming at the same time that University of Michigan inflation expectations are being raised as well. The 1 year is now 4.2% compared to last month at 3.9%. And it's higher than expected as well. So a lot of people are starting to worry, is CPI actually going away or not? Because right now it does seem a little bit sticky, especially with these being revised up. And we do have CPI next week, so I'd be on the lookout. That's one of the two factors that could cause crypto to sell off, just because risk assets will sell off if the CPI comes in too high. As you can see though on Bitcoin, and we'll talk more about this later, we still are above the previous resistance that we had seen around 21,500. So assuming we stay above that level, I think it could be pretty bullish, but we'll talk about more of that later. Again, we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. Now, crypto's seen over $250 million liquidated in a day, 254 million in 1 day. So this has obviously caused the price of Bitcoin and other cryptos to sell off. It's just obvious that if a bunch of people are going long and they get liquidated, it's going to send the price down. And this is causing the fear and greed index to fall as well to neutral from greed just a few days ago. And I think the reason this is selling off yesterday, either the market, including the stock market, got word of these revisions, like hedge funds heard about it and some larger players heard about it and they were kind of acting in bad faith, which is definitely possible, or it's due to what's happening with the SEC. This could be the cause of why crypto sold off a bit yesterday. We heard some rumors of Coinbase just a few days ago, and Brian Armstrong actually hearing about the SEC going after staking in the US. And then 1 day later, just yesterday, Kraken agreed to shutter crypto staking operations to settle SEC charges. So the timing is playing out pretty exact here, where just a day after we heard rumors that they're shutting down staking, well, Kraken shutting down their crypto staking. Now, there's some more news about this. The SEC is now going after exchanges and stablecoin issuers, and they'll be getting Wells notice in the coming weeks and days. So specifically mentioned Circle and Paxos, obviously two of the biggest stablecoin issuers. Now, a Wells notice is a notification issued by regulators to inform individuals or companies of completed investigations where infractions have been discovered. It usually takes the form of a letter which notifies recipients both of the broad nature of the violations uncovered as well as the nature of the enforcement proceedings to be initiated against the recipient. So they sound like they're going hard after Circle and Paxos. That could definitely hurt the crypto industry. Those are two of the largest stablecoin issuers, as we said. And at this point, it seems like the SEC has a huge vendetta against crypto innovation. I understand if they just want to audit and make sure that all the money is actually there, that they're actually backing everything one-to-one. And maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they found out that it's not, and that's what they're suing for. But it seems like they're going after other platforms as well. They're going after Coinbase. They're going after Kraken for offering yield. And it sounds like pretty soon they might be giving it to banks or something like that. This is a funny graphic. The SEC is protecting us from Kraken when Kraken has not gone down or anything. And then Celsius, FTX, Voyager, and Luna are all exploding. And obviously something could happen with Kraken and we'll never know, but maybe they saved us from it. But at this point, just saving us from staking, I don't think is the right way to go about this. Unless they know something that we don't about Kraken, about Coinbase, they're trying to protect us in that way. The fact is, staking should be pretty safe for these companies. They take your crypto, they stake it, they get a percentage of what's staked or the staking reward, and then give you the rest. It shouldn't be that hard to make sure that that's legitimate and to make sure that everyone's safe. Gary Gensler did say, not your keys, not your coins. So he is spreading some beneficial information there to the general public. I think we should probably keep the majority of our crypto on cold storage. I think that's the safest way to go about it. But some people do want to stake. Some people want to do it through their own wallets, and maybe we're not sure exactly what the U.S. is going to do there. If they're going to say you can't even stake within your own wallet, I don't know how they'd enforce that, but it sounds like right now they're going to say you can't stake on any kind of exchange, which I think will really push people overseas to use other exchanges. People will go around this. Overall, crypto could fall down from here, right? Bitcoin right now is falling down over the last few days. We still have held this support around 21,500. I think that this is actually bullish, and a lot of other people have said this as well. I think this is actually bullish in the short to medium term for crypto. Now, of course, depending on CPI coming out, we may just fall right back down, and we could break new lows. But if CPI comes out okay, this is actually setting up to be pretty good because we have cooled off a lot. The daily RSI is back under 50, which we haven't seen since Bitcoin was under 17,000. We need some time to cool off. The daily RSI coming down is exactly that. It's cooling off and resetting so that we can make another move up. It also flushed out a lot of longs, so it just cleanses the market a little bit. It cleanses it, and now we're $5,000 higher than we were just a month and a half ago or 2 months ago. And we're setting up to be pretty similar where we could make another big move up. Now, a lot of this will depend on macro, the overall stock market, what the yields are giving investors, what CPI is looking like, what the Fed is speaking, what they're telling us. But I think overall, this makes sense to dollar cost average into. I'm not saying to go dump all your crypto, but in my video yesterday where I was talking about buying, and I wasn't talking about buying a lot, I was just talking about doing a normal DCA, which I haven't done for a month. Keep in mind, I was doing this every week. I was doing 2 of these DCAs every week, and then for the first time in a month, I dollar cost average. And people were giving me such a hard time in my last video saying that Bitcoin's going down to $8,000. Have fun buying the top. Now, that's literally what they said, what a couple people said. And the fact is, we're not buying the top. We're down 66% plus, 70% from the top. We're close to the bottom, close to where we've been at the bottom. I would have a hard time believing we're going to fall down to 8,000. I could see lower lows than where we've been so far. I don't think that's necessarily likely, but I could see that happening. I don't think there's as much blowing up around us, though. Even if the SEC starts trying to ban staking and trying to throw fees at stablecoin issuers, I don't think that's the same kind of fear as FTX collapsing and maybe Binance collapsing and all this other fear that was happening a month and a half ago or 2 months ago. And I think macro has largely gotten better as well. Unless CPI starts ticking back up, I think that would be very bad. But unless that happens, I think the market looks pretty healthy at this point. So I'll continue to dollar cost average, especially if we fall down, and we might get some nice prices on some altcoins. I've been saying for a while I want to buy more Ethereum, and when Ethereum's down 5.5% and Bitcoin's down 3.3%, that gets me closer and closer to dipping my toe in the water and buying more Ethereum, maybe selling some of my Bitcoin. But let me know your thoughts about this underneath the video. Do you think we're going to fall back down because of the SEC enforcing against exchanges and staking or against stablecoins? Or do you think we're going to fall down because of CPI? Or do you think this is just a healthy reset? I think both could happen, but I think that a lot of fear is baked into this market right now. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.